G'day guys, this is Stevie Baker. Just wanted to do a quick overview of the Jeunesse pay plan. I've got a lot of new people coming into Jeunesse, so this is just more of a training on understanding how it works, but also a little bit on now how it's changing lives with people that are joining the Jeunesse business. So I'll get straight into it. I'm going to go into my story just for 1 or 2 minutes. I come out of school, basically worked full time for a year at a timber mill, got drafted into AFL football luckily, and now have found the industry and Jeunesse, which has allowed me to live the life of my dreams. So my journey started in a different company, which was weight loss, with a different pay plan, but I found it very hard to maintain. But it introduced me to the industry, which I loved. I loved the fact that I could work with my family and friends and earn income. But obviously, when you get involved in network marketing, you want to be involved in the best. So I didn't know anything different until I got introduced to the Jeunesse opportunity, Jeunesse pay plan. So my goal was to help my dad retire. But with our weight loss business, it wasn't going to happen. When we found Jeunesse, we were well on the way, to helping dad retire. Sadly, I did lose dad not too long ago. But the fact that we were going to achieve the goal of helping him retire, we actually had that in sight with Jeunesse. So I've decided that I am going to keep on the dream of living my best lifestyle, and because of my father, that's what I worked so hard for, is to make enough money and generate enough income so I didn't have to go back to a 9-to-5 job. So lifestyle was my reason for doing this business. Was my father, but when I lost him, it turned into wanting to have the lifestyle. I know only 1% of people that work 9-to-5 end up wealthy, a massive statistic. So once you get involved in network marketing, you see the power of it. You see that it's the biggest industry in the world. You see it creates more millionaires than any other industry in the world. You want to be involved with the best. You want to have the package. You want to earn short-term income. You want to earn long-term residual income. You want to be able to leverage off your team, and you want to be able to help your team succeed. So when I moved to Jeunesse, a little bit over a year and a half ago, it started to happen very quickly. So I've hit my goals in a year that I thought would take me 3 or 4 years. So I've seen this pay plan change lives, not only mine, but everyone in these images here. Some of my best friends, new friends, first timers in this industry, which is what I love. First timers that have never networked, earning full-time income in under a year. Yes, they've worked hard, but now they've got the rest of their life to enjoy life. So I'm going to go through the pay plan now. That was a short intro, but the 6 ways that you can generate income with Jeunesse Global. The first one, number 1, retail profit. Very simple. So we all know how retail profit works. Now, when you go to a Coles or somewhere, you're buying the products for retail value. So they get it at wholesale, you're buying it at retail. So everyone knows how that works. Jeunesse has a 40% markup roughly of all their products. With their serum, for example, $89.95, recommended retail $148, $58.50 retail profit. Very attractive to a salon. A salon, if they sell 1 serum a day for a year, do the maths, it's over $20,000 profit just selling 1 serum a day. And our serum is absolutely creating waves in the cosmetics industry. So the salons are jumping on board. People are running launches in their salons because the products are working so well. We've got stands available, A3 posters. It's been in all these beauty magazines. People want to do markets, house parties. This isn't what I do to build my business, but if you like doing this side of it, massive 40%, huge markup, very attractive. Number 2 is the pack bonus, customer acquisition bonus, which basically means when you enroll someone into the business on one of the heavily discounted packs, you earn a one-off bonus. So the ambassador pack, which is the business pack for the serious business builders, once you sell one of those packs, they're about $1,000, but you make $250 straight in the skyrocket. I've had people in my business enroll 10 packs in their first week. They've rang 10 business-minded people, 10 packs, $2,500 in their first week for those packs. So those bonuses start adding up. So 4 heavily discounted packages to choose from when you join, and then an upfront bonus. So number 1 and 2 is your upfront income, the money in the pocket. But number 3 is where it got exciting for me. I wanted to build long-term residual income, and you do this with Jeunesse by creating 2 teams of referrals. So you create a left team and a right team. Very, very simple. So to become executive, which is our first level in the business, all you've got to do is enroll 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and you can start earning these team commissions yourself. There is other tactics of where to enroll your first couple of people, which I use. So if you want to talk to your enroller about the best tactics, where do you enroll your people, make sure you use your upline for help, and I'm certainly help anyone that comes to me. So team commissions is the residual income. So these 2 chains go to infinity. Build these as long as you want. My last pay plan, the level got cut off at 10 levels. So I had to enroll hundreds and hundreds of people to be successful. With Jeunesse, it's possible that you can enroll 2 good people on top of each chain, or one good person on each chain, and make full-time income. But I'm a realist. I've enrolled 50 people into my business that's generated me the income where I can live life on my terms, well over full-time income, but I've enrolled 50 people to find those 2 or 3 go-getters. So team commissions are also called cycles. So a cycle happens when you create a certain amount of points. In Jeunesse, it's 600 points from one side, 300 points from the other side. Each time this happens, you make $35 team commissions. Pretty simple. 900 points, 300, 600. $35. Doesn't sound that exciting. I wasn't overly excited when I first heard $35, but believe me, it adds up. When you're getting 10 of those a day, it gets very exciting, and it's not just from your work. Now, remembering the package, each product has a point value, but each product package has a point value also. So remember I said there was 4 heavily discounted packs to choose from, basic pack 100 up to the ambassador pack 500. So the pay plan, it's all the products are going to be different prices. So if you go to China, the products are going to obviously cost different prices in their money, but the pay plan and the points is universal. So these point structures is universal for worldwide. So I'm going to go through how these cycles are generated. So we'll call this Sally at the top here. Sally's went out and enrolled 2 people. Remember, the ambassador pack's 500 and the pearl pack's 300. So she's created 500 and 300. Remember, a cycle is 900, so she hasn't quite made a cycle. So Sally's went out the next day and enrolled someone on a small pack. This has created the situation where she makes a cycle. So remember, it's 600 one side, 300 the other side. Creates $35. So pretty simple. So Sally's going, I like this. I like this structure. I'm going to go and enroll more people. So the next day she goes out and she enrolls an ambassador pack 500, another basic pack 100. On the other side she signed up a medium-sized pack, which is the supreme pack or the pearl pack, and that's created the cycle again. So the points get used and turn into money. So when you start growing this business, it doesn't matter what side the 600 comes from, it doesn't matter what side the 300 comes, as long as you make 900 points in a combination of 6 and 3. That makes $35 for you. So you'll be thinking, that seems like a lot of work for only $35. But when you start growing your business, when you start finding people that want to grow their own business, and you enroll people, all the points will flow up to you. So this is an illustration on what can happen in your business. So Sally's went and enrolled one on one side and one on the other side, but she's created her 2 long chains. But what's happened is, you see the red dots, we'll call that Paul. Paul's thought, I'm going to go and make a business of my own. So Paul started enrolling people on his left and his right, but all the points will flow up through Sally's left. So when you start building a team and you find go-getters that want to build their own teams, so every time 600, 300 created from anywhere in your organization, so if someone enrolls right on the bottom on an ambassador pack 500, the points will flow up, 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 all the way to you. So it doesn't matter how deep people are. It doesn't matter if there are 100 people away from your organization. If someone joins at the bottom of the chain, creates 500 points, it flows up through everyone's business all the way up to the enroller, up through the chain. So once you find a couple of good people, and I know I've found some awesome people in my business, I make 10 plus cycles a day from other people's work. It's leveraged income. So I've worked hard to get where I am over the last year, but now I've built a team of go-getters that are generating income. But this way, in this part of the pay plan, the cycles, it does get capped. Your money gets capped at $26,250 per week, which is $105,000 a month that you can make just from this part, number 3. And number 3, believe it or not, is not the most lucrative part. So, I've met people in this industry that make over $500,000 a month, or I've met people in Jeunesse that make over $500,000 a month. Personally, I've seen their back office. It's real. They make $100,000. The first day of the week, it just drops into the first day of the month, drops into their account. So $26,000 a week is just dropping into their accounts, which I couldn't believe. But $100,000, $105,000 a month, you could probably live off that if you had to. So, but you don't lose any points if you hit that mark. All the points will build up on top and just be waiting for you the next week. So you never lose any points. So if you hit there, you don't stop building. You keep building up the points. So our top earners, and there's already lots of people doing this already. The Monday comes along, bang, 26,250 drops into their account. Next Monday, it just drops in. Amazing part of the pay plan, very, very leverage. But this is my favourite part, and probably because it's the most lucrative, it's going to be my favourite. But matching bonus. So number 3, team commissions, 600, 300, a cycle. That's number 3. Number 4 is matching bonus. So this happens while matching bonus happens while you are earning cycles and team commissions. This is just a different way you can make money. So this is the same setup. So Sally here's created her left team and her right team, but in this, every time you personally enroll someone into your business, it's called your level 1. So you see the levels here. So your level 1s, whatever they earn in this part of the pay plan, you earn a matching bonus on that. So if you help one of your team earn $100,000 in a year in team commissions, you make $20,000 bonus from the company just by helping someone earn $100,000 a year. You earn $20,000 just off one person. So that's called your level 1. So as I mentioned, a personal enrollment. So Sally's personally enrolled this lady here. That's your level 1, the blue dot. So you can enroll as many people as you like. So as I mentioned, I've enrolled over 50 people now. I earn 20% of all those 50 people. But where this pay plan starts to get very exciting, there's no limit to how many people you can enroll, but then there's no limit to how many people they can enroll. So obviously you're not the only one out there that's going to want to build a business. So this is where you really get leverage off your time and the team that you build. Level 2. So level 2 is someone that you've enrolled a personal enrollment, but then they've enrolled someone. So that's your level 2. So here's the example here. Sally's enrolled, we'll call her Paula. Paula's going, I'm going to go and create a business of my own. She's gone out and enrolled 2 people, the orange dots. They're level 2. So Sally, she's going to earn 15% off her level 2. And then if level 2s sign someone up, that's obviously your level 3. They're the red dots, level 3. The matching bonuses can go down to 7 levels depending what level you are in the business. If you come in on the big pack, you earn 3 levels straight away for 6 months. So the business builders, the people the go-getters that want to make money, they come in on the big pack. So how exciting is that? If you can enroll as many people as you want and you're earning 20% off everyone you're personally enroll in the business, but let's say Paula goes and enrolls 100 people over a year, which has been done before. 100 people, that means you're earning 15% of 100 people's paychecks, basically. But not only that, those 100 people, if they enroll 3 or 4 people each, you're earning 10% of the next level. That's why this part of the pay plan is the most powerful, by a long way, because there's no limit on how many people you can enroll, so you can keep putting. It really incentivizes you to keep enrolling. So that's smart from the company because you're always going to keep on enrolling people because you're earning 20% of everyone you personally enroll and start that big chain. So this happens simultaneously with the team commission. So that's just number 3 and 4 are the only confusing parts of the pay plan. But once you know it, it's so simple, so basic. It might take another. Sit down with your enroller and go through it, draw it out, but once you've got it in your head, it's absolutely simple. Number 5 is basically enhancement of number 4. So the companies want to give you an incentive for bringing some customers into the business. So you want a good customer base in your business using the products. If you have 5 customers, that first level, the 20% goes up to 25. If you have 10 customers, it goes up to 30. So if we go back to this slide, everyone, if you've got 10 customers, everyone you enroll in the business, you're earning 30% of their paycheck, which means nearly a third of their paycheck. Now, it doesn't come out of their check; it comes from the company bonuses. So, if I help, if I help 10 people earn $100,000 a year, I earn around $30,000 of each of them. So $300,000 just in matching bonus. I think I've done my maths right. I failed maths at school, but amazing incentive to help your team grow. That's why we all work as a team. That's why it's the most exciting pay plan that I've ever seen. 30%. It's amazing. Amazing percentage of what you can earn. Number 6, this is the last way, is once you hit diamond level in the business, you can share in 3% of the company's overall profits, which it's paid quarterly to qualified diamonds. The minimum someone's getting paid out of this is about $150,000. So I've already had a good friend hit diamond in under 2 years. My other 2 good mates have just hit emerald, which is 1 level of diamond. So we've got some footsteps to follow. People are doing it. There's 30 diamonds in the world already in under 4 years. So 30 millionaires have been created in under 4 years, which we don't think has ever been done before in this industry. It gives you a long-term goal. Auto ship is vital. So once you get into the business, there's a 30-day cash back on all products. But if you want to build a business, you're responsible for an auto ship order, which is 1 product a month. I get a pack of my favorite, the Reserve gels, antioxidants boost. I won't go into the products, but it costs me about $95 a month to maintain my business. Once you start earning money, $95 is a drop in the ocean. So, the ladies usually get the serum coming in once a month, costs them, I think it's $89 plus shipping. It's $105 a month, and then you've got your business live. Your points, as long as your auto ship is active, your monthly order, you keep accumulating points for the residual income. It's not compulsory, but anyone in my business that wants to make money, long term, they've got their auto ship going. But you can actually shut that off whenever you like. But auto ship is vital for people that want this long term. I've explained the auto ship. This is the levels. We've actually brought out some new levels, but very simple to jump up the levels. Associate, you buy a $32 wholesale account. If you want to become a distributor, you buy a product packages. Remember the 1 of the 4 packages. To be an executive, you enroll 1 on the left, 1 on the right. But remember, there's tactics about enrolling left and right. So talk to your enroller. I can tell you my ways I like to do it. Jade, I think 4 each side. Pearl, you've got 12 distributors, so 12 people on packs. Sapphire Executive is when you've got 12 distributors, so 12 distributors on packs that have got 1 each side. So it's basically 12 executives. So remember, a distributor, to become executive, you need 1 each side. To become a Sapphire, you need 12 executives. So I'm at Ruby level, Ruby Director. You see the levels of matching bonus you earn. Remember the 20%, 15%, 10%. That can go down to 7 levels once you hit Diamond. But the more you go through the pay plan, the more lucrative it is. So the further you go up, the easier it is to make money, which most pay plans make it harder to make money down the back end. Jeunesse make it easier. Really rewarding their leaders. We've just come up with new ranks in Jeunesse because we've had 30 diamonds in 4 years, which has blown the company away. I know the owners personally; they never thought they'd have 30 diamonds in 4 years. So they've brought out new levels in this business. They've brought out triple diamond, presidential, imperial, crown, which is actually creating a massive stir in Jeunesse. All the big leaders want to get to crown diamond first. Each level comes with a huge bonus: triple diamond, 100, 250,000, 500. All up to you get $1 million cash bonus when you hit the pinnacle of the company. So if diamond's my goal in the next year, but then they've brought out new goals. So it's actually making the company expand faster than ever. We're opening over 100 countries in less than 4 years, which has never been done before. So we are going to be the next billion dollar brand because of the infrastructure that Jeunesse provides. Old school pay plans. This is an illustration of my old pay plan. Cut off after 9 levels, which meant you could only fit 9 levels of people in your business, which forced you to enroll wide. You had to enroll hundreds and hundreds of people to fit as many people in your organization. So you couldn't relax, and not everyone would benefit. So everyone, if I enrolled 200 wide, the whole organisation doesn't benefit like we do in our new age binary pay plan. So this is a binary pay plan we're working with Jeunesse, absolutely blowing other pay plans out of the water. My old business had minimum requirements. I had to annoy my downline to build their business big. Sales dependent and big order ships. It was over $200 of auto ship in my last company. So with the Jeunesse pay plan, you put people left or right. If they don't work, it doesn't affect your paycheck. If they do work, it affects it in a great way. But if they don't, it doesn't affect it in a negative way. So there's no annoying your downline, which what I love. I used to hate annoying my downline if they didn't have hit their requirements. So this is just a breath of fresh air building the Jeunesse pay plan. We're the fastest growing direct sales company in Australia by a long way. We work as a team. We don't hard sell. All we do is invite to listen to the opportunity. Work together. Once you hit Emerald and Diamond, you get vacations for the rest of your life. If you hit Sapphire, which is only 12 enrollments, you can go to Noosa. So we've just had our second year going to Noosa in Australia. So amazing. We're breaking all records. These are our top income earners. Kim Wee, Jason Karamanis. Kim Wee's on track to make $8 million in commissions just this year alone. So $8 million, we don't think that's ever been done before in a network marketing company in under 4 years. And Jeunesse as a company has just had sales of $257 million in their 4th year, which has never been done before by even the big billion dollar companies. So that's in four years. So set to be the next billion dollar brand. We're changing lives. This was a year ago in Noosa. We had about 12 people get invited as a Sapphires. This year we had over 100. So it's still fresh. We're less than 2 years old here in Australia. My old company was in Australia for 10 years before I joined. Still able to make good money. So we've got 5 to 10 years of huge growth with Jeunesse. It's a perfect time to join. All our processes, all our back office systems have just all the glitches have been taken out, and we are storming ahead. We have incentive travel. We've already travelled to Vegas. We've been to Noosa. We've been to Thailand. I've just booked Queensland and Macau later in the year. So 6 trips we're going on this year. So you can actually, if you're a hard worker, you can get your trips for free. It's $32.95 to get a wholesale account. So you have your own personalised website. The product's at 40% off for $32. That's your first step. If you want to become a distributor, you pick one of the 4 packages. So get the packages off your enroller. But basic, supreme, jumbo, ambassadors, the business pack opens up all the pay plan. You need products on hand. I love people that put a commitment into this business. They're the ones I like working with. The ambassador pack I think's vital. You need products on hand if you're a serious builder. So that's what's in the ambassador pack. You get over $2,000 worth of retail products. But what you want in your business, you want to duplicate. Bringing people in on the bigger packs. What that means for you is long-term residual income. Remember the 600, 300 points. Bring people in on the bigger packs. Train people to bring people in on the bigger packs. 500 points flowing up your business. So that means anytime someone brings people into your business, you're making $35 commission each time. So flow that through your business. Why I do direct sales? It's pretty obvious. I love having a great lifestyle. I love being stress-free. I love waking up. When I wake up, I don't like waking up to an alarm, traveling the world, hanging with my best friends. But this Jeunesse pay plan has given me the life of my dreams, and I've seen it change hundreds of lives already in the short amount of time I've been in this company. But this has been a bit of a training, but also a bit of a overview of why I got involved in Jeunesse, and basically it's the best decision of my life. And I've hoped this video has helped you, and you can flow it through your team. And I'm always available if you've got any questions. But thank you for listening in, and look forward to working with you towards the future.